Now, in June of 1776, something happens that changes attitudes. Common Sense was published, and it gave a common sense argument that anybody, even the everyday Joes, could understand for independence. Huge moment in American history. And guess what? You can actually read it from the video. So with Common Sense, on June 11, 1776, the Continental Congress approves a committee to write a declaration. So with Common Sense, on June 11th, 1776, Congress finally is going to start moving towards independence. They approve a committee to write the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson, through circumstances, becomes the main author of the Declaration of Independence. They actually vote for it they vote to declare independence on July 2nd, 1776, and they accept the Declaration on July 4th. And so to give you some more, you can actually read the text of the Declaration of Independence right here. You can actually, my internet is running slow, read more about Thomas Jefferson. And you can actually watch a video about Thomas Jefferson. Now, at the beginning of the war, the British had the advantage of the better manufacturing. They could make the stuff you need in war, like some guns. And they've got an established government. The colonists, they struggled to pay for the war. Their soldiers suffered. And it leads to inflation in the colonies, which causes all kinds of other issues. Now, the colonists knew, the people in charge knew they had to change the hearts and minds of the everyday regular colonists to win this war. They had to have as much support as possible. There were actually colonists that did not want to be independent from the British. They're called loyalists. And after the war, a lot of them actually leave. Now, the British angered the colonists even further by hiring Hessian mercenaries. So not only is it the British, you have Hessian mercenaries attacking U.S. soldiers in the colonies and fighting this war. The colonists had to endure hardships. They had a British blockade, so they weren't getting a lot of stuff in. Pretty much it was whatever you made at home. And women had to work harder to free their men to actually fight the war. Now, Washington helped mold the persistence of the army. He's saying by saying, we had enough that day and we should fight another day. He was the one who retreated skillfully. He kept the army going. And if you want to know more about Washington, there you go. Now, after Lexington and Concord, the British retreated to Boston. They tried to knock the colonists off the hills outside of Boston, and they end up doing it, but they end up suffering while they're doing it. They actually run up the hill 3 different times to knock the colonists off the hill. The colonists end up having to retreat because they don't have enough ammo. And the colonists go and they regroup at Cambridge. What's located in Cambridge today? That would be the place of Havre. And if you want to know more about the Battle of Bunker Hill, there you go. Now, 6 months after the Battle of Bunker Hill, the British retreat from Boston, partially because Tubby over here, Henry Knox, goes and recovers cannons from New York, and he brings them all the way back. Nobody thought he could do it, but he actually brings cannons back from a fort that he took in New York. And if you want to read about Henry Knox, there you go. Now, after the British retreated out of Boston, they said, where could our ships give us the awesome advantage we need to win this war? Obviously, New York is a good place for that. And so they go to New York, and they move to New York. They easily overrun the colonial positions in New York. Washington saves the army by running to New Jersey. So the British win the Battle of New York easy, and it becomes kind of their home base. This will tell you more about the battle in New York. Now, after New York, British were content to make New York their winter home. Washington had to give the colonists some hope. They've been beaten up. They've been shellacked. They've been smacked. There was nothing they could do, and they had to have some hope that they could actually win the war. So Washington goes and he crosses the Delaware River in the middle of December, in the middle of snow. Most armies at the time didn't do that. December of 1776. He laid a smackdown on a Hessian force at Trenton, New Jersey. And if you want to know more about the Delaware crossing, there you go.